Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's check this out, guys. So, I'm gonna make this video, and I want you guys to pay attention. So, for the video that I made about people that I wanted people to, so there's a video that I made about a week and a half ago, that I had posted about saying something about sheep or whatever, because someone came in my chat with the bullshit about me getting paid from Social Security disability. So I'm gonna make this easy and plain and simple for you guys. And everything like that. A week and a half ago, I made a video about, I talked about some stuff about John F. Kennedy being assassinated and stuff like that, and that the CIA was behind it and all this stuff. I don't know if you guys believed me or not. And then I also talked about how America was supposed to be so great and all this and all that. So 5 days ago, I think it's 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, on social media, this came out on Tucker Carlson's news media, that he had talked about and everything about John F. Kennedy and the CIA, and this was posted on the Hog Twins broadcast 4 days ago, but it came out on Tucker Carlson's news media, but I think we'll say 4 or 5 days ago. So I want you guys to listen to, pretty much what I was talking about, how the CIA was behind the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, and that how they attempted to assassinate Robert F. Kennedy. So, I mean, they assassinated John F. Kennedy, and they tried to attempt to assassinate Robert F. Kennedy, and that the guy behind it was actually the guy behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas, was actually worked with the CIA. He was a undercover informant for the CIA. So I want you guys to listen. I want you guys to listen to what was posted 4 days ago, 5 days ago, about this whole situation, because you guys think I'm a conspiracy theory. You guys think that I'm a nutcase, and that I'm just off my rocker and this and this and this. So I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I'm scrolling through TikTok, and I'm scrolling through all these social medias and all this stuff last night after I got off of here at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm sitting there scrolling through it, social media and shit, see what was new, what was talked about, this and this. So I came across this on Facebook from the Hog Twins that reposted it from Tucker Carlson's newscast. So I want you guys to listen to what Tucker Carlson is gonna say about the case with the CIA, the FBI, and John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy, and the guy that supposedly shot John F. Kennedy. I want you guys to listen.
Tucker Carlson tonight. So not long after Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald on camera in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters, a lot of Americans started to have some questions about the Kennedy assassination. It was, you'd have to admit, a pretty extraordinary sequence of events. A lone gunman murders the President of the United States, and then, less than 48 hours later, that lone gunman is himself murdered by another lone gunman. What are the odds of that? It's one thing if you get struck by lightning, rare but possible. But if every member of your family also gets struck by lightning all on different days, you might begin to suspect these are not entirely natural events. But oh, replied the US government, they are. This bizarre chain of killings was all entirely natural. So less than a year after the JFK assassination, the Johnson White House released something called the Warren Commission Report. And the report concluded that while their motives remained unclear, both Lee Oswald and Jack Ruby had acted alone. No one helped them. There was no conspiracy of any kind. Case closed. Time to move on. And many Americans did move on. At the time, they had no idea how shoddy and corrupt the Warren Commission was. It would be nearly 50 years before the CIA admitted under duress that, in fact, it had withheld information from investigators about its relationship with Lee Harvey Oswald. But even then, at the time, before that was known, the government's explanation didn't seem entirely plausible, and some people started asking obvious questions about it. It was at that point, as Americans started to doubt the official story, that the term conspiracy theory entered our lexicon. As Professor Lance DeHaven Smith points out in his book on the subject, the term conspiracy theory did not exist as a phrase in everyday American conversation before 1964. In 1964, the year the Warren Commission issued its report, the New York Times published 5 stories in which conspiracy theory appeared. Now today, of course, the term conspiracy theory appears in pretty much every New York Times story about American politics. It's wielded, now as then, as a weapon against anyone who asks questions the government doesn't feel like answering. But despite 60 years of name-calling, those questions have not disappeared. In fact, they have multiplied with time. And here's one of them. In April of 1964, a psychiatrist called Louis Joylan West visited Jack Ruby in his isolation cell in a Dallas jail. According to West's written assessment, he found that Jack Ruby was, quote, technically insane and in need of immediate psychiatric hospitalization. Those are conclusions that, puzzlingly, no one who had spoken to Jack Ruby previously had reached. Ruby had seemed perfectly sane to the people who knew him. Louis Joylan West pronounced him crazy. But what West did not say was that he was working for the CIA at the time. Louis Joylan West was a contract psychiatrist for the spy agency. He was also an expert on mind control and a prominent player in the now infamous MK program, in which the CIA gave powerful psychiatric drugs to Americans without their knowledge. So of all the psychiatrists in the world, what in the world was this guy doing in Jack Ruby's prison cell? The media did not seem interested in finding out. In fact, the New York Times, in an extensive 1999 obituary of West, never mentioned the fact that he had worked for the CIA, much less his time in Jack Ruby's cell. Seems relevant. So you can see why non-crazy people would wonder about what really happened, and of course many have wondered. In 1976, long forgotten, the House of Representatives impaneled a special committee to reinvestigate the JFK assassination. Their bipartisan conclusion? Jack Kennedy was almost certainly murdered as the result of a conspiracy. But the question is, a conspiracy by whom? Well, the obvious suspect would be the CIA. Why else would the agency withhold critical evidence from investigators? Is there a benign explanation for that, for maintaining this level of secrecy for this many years? Not that we're aware of. And it is illegal. In 1992, Congress passed the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act. That act mandated full disclosure of all documents by 2017, 54 years after JFK was killed. The last administration promised to comply fully with that law, but under intense pressure from CIA Director Mike Pompeo, withheld in the end thousands of pages of CIA documents. Today, this afternoon, the Biden administration did exactly the same thing. That would be thousands of pages of documents after nearly 60 years, after the death of every single person involved. But we still can't see them. Clearly, it's not to protect any person. They're all dead. It's to protect an institution. But why? Well, today we decided to find out. We spoke to someone who had access to these still hidden CIA documents. The person was deeply familiar with what they contain. We asked this person directly, Did the CIA have a hand in the murder of John F. Kennedy, an American president? And here's the reply we received verbatim. Quote, "The answer is yes. I believe they were involved. It's a whole different country from what we thought it was. It's all fake." It's hard to imagine a more jarring response than that. Again, this is not a, quote, conspiracy theorist that we spoke to. Not even close. This is someone with direct knowledge of the information that once again is being withheld from the American public. And the answer we received was unequivocal. Yes, the CIA was involved in the assassination of the president. Now, some people will not be surprised to hear that. They suspected it all along. But no matter how you feel about or what you thought about the Kennedy assassination, pause to consider what this means. It means that within the U.S. government, there are forces wholly beyond democratic control. These forces are more powerful than the elected officials that supposedly oversee them. These forces can affect election outcomes. They can even hide their complicity in the murder of an American president. In other words, they can do pretty much anything they want. They constitute a government within a government, mocking by their very existence the idea of democracy. As cynical as we have become after 30 years of watching government officials ignore the voters who employ them, we were shocked to learn this. It's not acceptable. Americans have trusted their government less with every passing year since the killing of John F. Kennedy. Maybe this is why. And people have known this for a long time. The people who knew would include every director of the CIA since November of 1963. That list would include Obama's CIA director, John Brennan, one of the most sinister and dishonest figures in American life. That list would also include, we are sad to say, our friend Mike Pompeo, who ran the CIA in the last administration. Mike Pompeo knew this. We asked Pompeo to join us tonight, and though he rarely turns down a televised interview, he refused to come. We hope he will reconsider.
Crime is up, inflation, people's rights was taken away.
So there is the prime example of that issue. Now let's get to the other one that I want you guys to also hear about. That was also that I wanted you guys to listen to. So this part is about how the American, how America is so wonderful. So I want you guys to listen to this and everything, because I mean, it's like, it's crazy how everything that I sit here and talk about, it's coming to light nowadays after I've been talking about the same shit for decades. So I want you guys to hear this other part about the United States, how America is so great, and this and this and this. And then I'll cut the video because I'm gonna go and play fishing, and I'm gonna go catch some more lobsters. Figured out how to catch the lobsters. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'll cut this video after this is done. If you guys want to leave any comments or concerns or want to say anything, just let me know, and we can have a little discussion about it. If not, well, I'm gonna let you guys listen to this part and then see what you guys think about it.
Say why America is the greatest country in the world.
Diversity and opportunity.
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Well,
The New York Jets.
no, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that.
Is not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying
Yes. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey.
And with a straight face, you're gonna Tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom. Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom. All right. And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what you're talking about. Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore.
Say why America.
So there's the other part. It's crazy how people think that America is so fucking wonderful until they really find out the truth and see and hear the truth about what really is what, you know. It's really you know, sad and pathetic of how the world nowadays, you know, sees itself and shit like that. So I mean, there's two videos right there. There's 2 videos right there proving and showing. One talks about the United States, and the other one talks about how the CIA was involved in John F. Kennedy's assassination. And how you know, old dude was a informant for the CIA to assassinate the president of the United States. And the conspiracy theory word wasn't even a word until before 1964. That actually hit, you know, the you know, world of what it meant. So for people to sit up in here and still think that the government still gives a fuck about you, and for people that still thinks that the United States gives a shit about you and wanted to help you with your shit, you're sadly mistaken. Government don't give a fuck. They never have, they never will. And this was back in the day when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So if the CIA was corrupted back then, before 1964, and the same motherfucker that was in the last administration for the government was working for the administration last administration to now what it is now with Joe Biden and everything doing the same exact thing that they've been doing for over 60 years of hiding secrets and documents and shit that they were supposed to come out forward to and give the documents up of showing proof of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I mean, it just shows how pathetic this country has really gotten. So when you guys get pissed off and angry and you guys try to take it out on me because I show you guys real truth and real honesty. And I talk about what I talk about on my channels just due to the fact that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I was born in 1986. This shit happened back in 1960s, 1940s, 1950s. Way before I was even born. Now, I knew about John F. Kennedy's assassination and everything, and shit like that. I've been knowing about it for since I was a kid. You know what I mean? I've been knowing about it, of just how you watch the video, the original video of assassination, and you see his wife sitting on the left side of the vehicle behind the driver, and John F. Kennedy is on the right side in the back seat, and his wife is ducking out the back. You know what I mean? Instead of ducking inside the car like a smart person, she's ducking out the back seat and trying to get away from the fucking driver, because the driver turns around, pow pow, you know? But the fact of it is, it's just crazy how you guys still think that I'm a conspiracy theory and I'm off my rocker and I'm stupid and I'm this and this and this. This is the reason why I talk about the shit that I talk about on my channel, to prove to you guys, hey, this is the proof, this is the evidence, this is everything else, you know, to show you guys, hey, I'm not off my rocker, I'm not crazy, I'm not stupid. This is actually reality. This is 60 years ago. You know what I mean? I'm 36, about to be 37 in what 4.5 months. I'll be 37 in 4.5 months. So the fact of it is when someone likes me, you know, that talks about shit that happened in the past, that is reality, that's gonna bring it to light in this decade. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one that brings it up from 2-3 decades ago. You know what I mean? Like, this was happened 60 years ago. I wasn't even born when this shit happened. But the fact of it is what I talk about is the same shit that happened decades ago. Now we could get into talking about Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? How he was assassinated, and how the government was behind all that too. You know, but you know. Give it some time, and someone's gonna come out with the proof and evidence that, you know, Martin Luther King was assassinated as well, because he was a great person and he was a great movement person. Like, you notice all the people that started movements. Okay, you got Martin Luther King that started a movement. You got Cesar Chavez that started a movement, which is the grape cop movement, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. You know, so I mean, you got that plantation, you got another plantation, you got all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much shit out here in this world that people don't actually know today. I wish they would actually talk about the Louis Armstrong landing on the moon. That I want them to actually come out and say the truth about that. I really want them to come out and say the truth about that, because that's in the history books. If you grew up in Texas and you went to school in Texas schools, public Texas schools, in the history books, it has that Louis Armstrong landed on the moon, and he was the first man on the moon, which in reality, America was not the first people on the moon. Russia was. For you guys' information. So, yeah, we was behind, more than a decade behind of making it to the moon, when they had the race to the moon whole situation with America and Russia to make it to the moon. Russia was actually the first ones on the moon, and then we went over there and stole the scientists that got them to the moon, to put him behind all the rockets that sent, you know, us to the moon nowadays. But anyways, that's another topic and another story. But as you can see, you know, there's a lot of things out here that you guys don't know, you guys don't pay attention to, you guys forgot. You know, I can't wait until they come out with the truth of behind the 9/11 attack. I can't wait for them to come out with the Armstrong truth. I can't wait until they come out with all the truth behind every fucking lie that the government's ever told people in the world. Then everybody will sit here and say, "Oh, this motherfucker was right. He's not stupid." You know, I'm waiting for the government to actually come out and tell the truth about everything. Because when they do, it's gonna shock you motherfuckers, and you motherfuckers are gonna realize, hey, Michael Brown is not a fucking conspiracy theory. The motherfucker is smart. He may be not educated and get a high school diploma or never been to college and this and this and this, but he is very smart about what goes on in the fucking world. Even though he sits behind his computer desk all day playing video games and shit like that, he's still smart. But anyways, that's really all I wanted to say about this topic. I'm gonna cut this video, end this video, and we're gonna go play some fishing. Cause I made over $215,000 on lobsters last night. I figured out how to do it. So let's go play some lobsters.